Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today I'm taking up more of your questions in another segment of Ask Judy. If you're enjoying all this content, please do hit like and subscribe. Want to take a moment to remind people regarding social media. Richard Thomas is not on any social media. David Harper is not on any social media. In terms of Facebook, if you make a comment and then somebody replies to your comment about, oh, hey, reach out to me at this private page, it's a fake page. I try to report them. I try to block them. I've had a number of people with one at point, it said Judy Norton private page. I don't have an account that says Judy Norton private page. So keep an eye out for those blue check marks on our Facebook pages. Those will usually indicate that it is an authentic, verified thing. So just keeping everybody safe, and really make sure you double check if you are purchasing something that you know for sure that it is like the person that you believe you are buying from. I wanted to share a comment that Ralph Sinensky, our director, had left in regards to my conversations with Robert Woods, who played David Spencer. And he said, a comment to Judy and Robert. I wish I could have joined you in today's chat, but at least this way I won't have to stop talking for either of you to speak. The Firestorm was the only Waltons I directed Robert in. It was my 8th Waltons and the last one I did with Richard Thomas. It was also the second time I directed Robert in a film. First time was City of Angels. The story behind this one, I somehow knew David Spencer had appeared in the series and at the time seemed to be the future husband of Mary Ellen. But in the script I was handed, David only appeared as her escort at the picnic, and with no lines. I mentioned this to Earl, and he added 2 scenes for Mary Ellen and David. The one with them necking in the car. Oh, okay, well, thanks, Ralph. And he added them making an entrance in the scene of the Nazi rock through the window. That last one created a problem. A long speech by Ellen had to be eliminated, and she was furious. So that is the give and take sometimes of what gets added, what gets taken away. So I'm sorry that there were hard feelings in regards to that happening, but I think it was the right choice relative to establishing more of the character of David Spencer. So thank you for filling us in on that extra little piece of background information, Ralph, and hope to have you back with me to share more of your Hollywood stories soon. This question is from Hollywood Dream 30, who said, if you could write an episode or change a part of an episode to be more to your liking, what would it be? I would say it would be to not bring Kurt back in the episode The Tempest. And I think a lot of you agree with that. And also, I think to not have them give Mary Ellen the money in the minstrel after the apple picking when she doesn't participate and she causes trouble for them. I don't know. I didn't feel it was right for her to be rewarded by them giving her the money that they made. So just a personal opinion on my part. Creole Lady asked this question. Judy, can you comment about how the Waltons go about casting the guest roles and the roles of the characters? There is a casting director. In our case, we had the fabulous Pam Polifroni, who was quite instrumental in casting a lot of shows. And basically, once a script comes out, the list of characters that are needed for that episode come out, and then it is given out to all of the agents. Agents have an opportunity to suggest their clients they think are right for it. The casting director's office will go through all of those submissions and make choices about who they want to bring in to actually audition for the role. So, far, far, far more people are submitted than there is time to see. So, and the casting director often has actors that they are familiar with, that they have cast in other shows, that they know do great work and are dependable, and they feel would be right for the role. So that combination of things determines a small list of actors who are brought in to audition, and the audition will generally include a scene, maybe 2, from the episode that's being cast, that the person will come in and read that scene. They will audition with that piece of material, and that is typically for the producers and the director. Sometimes there will be a pre-screening where an actor will come in and just read for the casting director, And then based on how that goes, they will have callbacks that are for the director and producers. So that is how the roles were cast. A question from Black Stinger, who said, speaking of working with people, this is a two-part question. What actor or actress influenced you the most? I would say maybe Richard Thomas, because I loved the way he treated everybody, both cast, guest stars, the crew. He just treated everybody well. There was no diva behavior. He never was flaunting his importance or anything like that. And as a star of the show, he certainly could. And he was such a great example of his generosity in working with the actors and being there for you every step of the way, whether he was on camera or off camera. He never walked through a scene because the camera wasn't on him. So I really loved that. And then your second question was, what actor or actress would you love to work with? Oh, there's so many actors. I love their work. I may not know them, so how they might be to work with, I don't know. But in terms of their work, I think what I most enjoy and like to work with is actors who are collaborative. And same thing with directors, the directors that bring out the best in the actors. So that is, I think, the most that I ask for as an actress, someone who's going to help make my work as good as possible. This question is from Unfunny Comedian, who said, during your everyday life, did any life situation give you a flashback to a similar situation in a Waltons episode? Well, I know when we went out to the opening of the John and Olivia Bed and Breakfast in Schuyler, Virginia, just walking through that house and seeing it and what a fabulous job was done in recreating the Walton House sets. And of course, ours were sets. So to walk in an actual functioning house, particularly a functioning kitchen, and they had ceilings and they had actual running water and things like that. So many flashbacks to moments sitting in that living room or sitting around that kitchen table. And so very, very nostalgic for me there. Big boisterous meals will remind me of the Waltons, or when it's a nighttime thing and somebody jokes, oh, good night, John Boy, good night, Mary Ellen, all those types of things. Old vintage cars will remind me of the great cars we got to use on the Waltons. Or when I was working in theater and I was working in Granbury, Texas, and they have this wonderful sort of town square. And it just reminded me of, again, being on the Warner Brothers lot. It looked like a movie set. It was so charming. And so that was very nostalgic to walk around there. And it just flashed me back to all those wonderful days and those scenes that we did on the Warner's lot. Thank you for joining me for this segment of Ask Judy. I'll be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons and more of your questions and hopefully more special guests. Thanks for watching.